One of the first questions that I get when I talk to someone about LifeVantage is, what is it that brought you here? What made you put your stamp on something? Because I know that you don't just do that with any old product. Well, I'm here to tell you. I'm Sandy McClure. I am a Colorado native, and I have been using LifeVantage products now since 2019. And my story began clear back in 2014 when a friend reached out to me and said, I've got something that I think you'd be interested in. And you know what I did? I gave him the hand, said, no, thank you. Don't even talk to me. I didn't know what he had, and he didn't elaborate. And so fast forward to 2019. It was a crazy time. I had just lost a business that I had built since 2012. And so he had the courage to reach out to me again. And I really wasn't wanting to talk to anybody at that time. It took him seven conversations for me to even listen. And the only reason I listened to him is because I was his friend and I wanted to keep him as a friend. And so on 7th conversation, I wanted to assure him that no meant no, and I was done talking to him. But for some reason I said, what is it that you even have? And when he told me, I said, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? And he said, well, would you have listened? I had to be honest. No, I probably wouldn't have. But the reason I asked him why he hadn't told me about this sooner is because I am a cancer survivor. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed in 2015. Again, 4 years prior to starting LifeVantage. I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma, triple negative. And it was aggressive. And so I went to all that I knew and just took the aggressive route to try to fight it. I had a bilateral mastectomy, 20 weeks of chemotherapy. And while it looked like it was fairly easy for me, I will tell you that it was not easy for me. But that led to me getting breast implants as well. And after I finished my chemotherapy, I didn't feel very well. And once I got those implants, those final implants in, I really didn't feel well, but I just thought, this is the residual effects of cancer. I just need to be happy to be alive and go on with my life. I will tell you, if you know me, you've probably seen some of the pictures of me with my my face was swollen. I had rash around my eyes. I had a rash on my neck constantly. And I always had debilitating migraine headaches, and my joints were just so swollen and painful. I had a lot of inflammation. And so, I wasn't feeling well, but again, I was happy to be alive because I'm a Grammy of 3 grandchildren, 1 on the way. And that was where I wanted to focus with my life. So I just thought, I'm just going to have to battle through this. But my friend reached out to me right after I had an explant. And I will tell you, the reason that I had that explant is because I knew that what was happening with my body, something foreign was in my body. I had to try to feel better. There's no doctor that could give me an explanation. So I had those implants removed in April of 2019. And I will tell you, that was an amazing decision for me. They were toxic to me, literally, probably killing me. I can't imagine where I would be right now had I not taken those out. So that's lesson number 1 in my life. And in the May of 2019, a business that I had built since 2012 went away, just kind of overnight. And so my friend reached out to me and said, I have something that you need. And again, no. For 7 conversations, no. Finally, what do you even have? Well, when he told me, I was intrigued. And so I started doing some research. And if you know me, I am a big researcher. Again, I'm not going to just take somebody's word for it. I have to have some really good evidence. After being through everything I've been through, I have to have good evidence that something's going to work. And so I started looking into this, and I couldn't believe there were peer-reviewed studies on PubMed.gov. I mean, those are hard to get. And I was blown away. And I thought, if this could really do what it says that it's going to do, I need this in my body the rest of my life. And I was due to have a colonoscopy in July. So I started these products in June of 2019 just to see if they would help me. Now, that's all I did. I wasn't going to promote them or anything. I just wanted to see what they could do for me. In July of 2009, and I will tell you that I'm not sure I noticed anything right away. Okay, very important. But in July, I went back to my colonoscopy doctor who did tell me 3 years prior to that, they had done a colonoscopy, found a lot of precancerous polyps in my colon, and said, you'll have to come back in 3 years. We do believe that you're going to probably end up getting colon cancer, and we need you to be mindful. He said, after this, we'll probably have to see you every year. And so when I went to that doctor, he came in and he said, what have you been doing? After the results came in, he says, what are you doing? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, your colonoscopy came back pristine. He said, you had one precancerous polyp that wouldn't have been cancer for years. What are you doing differently? And I said, well, just recently I've been using this blue stuff in this blue bottle. I really didn't even know how to describe it, but he said, whatever you're doing, don't stop. He said, you are not going to have to come back for 3 years. Now, if you've ever had a colonoscopy, that is music to your ears, knowing that you're not going to have to do that alone, let alone, every year. And so I was excited about that, but he said, this is just unheard of. This was unexpected. When I got that information, I thought, this is something that I need to make sure that I share. So I wanted to become a messenger. It was an obligation to me to share what I knew. I didn't know how it was working. I knew there was science behind it. I had read some studies, but I also wasn't sure about all of it because I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical professional, but I did know how my body felt. And so I flew out to Utah and I said, I want to make sure that this is on the up and up. It was a publicly traded company, so I knew everything would be out in the open and, all the information there, so there would be no surprises. I wanted to make sure that if I was going to connect myself to something, it needed to be something of integrity and something that I could truly put my stamp on. And so that was my beginning of sharing LifeVantage. And if you know me and if you've come to trust me, that's where it started for me. It took a lot for me to say, yes, I am going to be a messenger for this company, which we need a lot of. And so it wasn't just, that was in August of 2019. In September of 2019, my granddaughter was born. Another aha moment. I will tell you that in 2 weeks into her life here on earth, she got very sick and they had to put her in the NICU, and they did not know what was wrong with her. She had a fever, she was dehydrated, and my daughter, Bethany, she was so stressed, she was losing her milk. So it was just a very stressful situation. And I knew that there was someone I could reach out to in LifeVantage, Dr. Nancy Bryan. I had just been connected with her and reached out to her. And I said, could I give this to my daughter? Do you think this could help her? And she said, get that NRF2 in your daughter right away so that she can nurse the baby. And I just took her word for it. She gave me a little bit more information. The doctor in the hospital was very standoffish about it, of course, but Bethany wanted to know it was safe, and so we made sure that we got that information to her, and that doctor finally said, well, it's not. I just asked the doctor, what in this would hurt my granddaughter? And she didn't have an answer for that. She said, well, nothing, but I wouldn't take it. And I said, I'm not asking you to take it. What happened was Bethany's milk came back in within 2 hours, her taking that NRF2, and Blake made a complete turnaround, unexplained turnaround. I can give you more information on that, but we don't know if that's what happened, but that was the only change that we made. By the time they kept Blake in the hospital 2 more days or 3 more days, I can't remember exactly, just to make sure that everything was on the up and up, because they couldn't understand why she just all of a sudden got better. And I will tell you that that NICU doctor was in my hip pocket by the time we left. She wanted to talk. We talked well over an hour about activation. She was just blown away at what had happened. And so right away into this, I am just seeing things happen. In October of the same year, remember, I am a cancer survivor. Okay, I had that invasive ductal carcinoma, all of that, went through the chemotherapy. I had neuropathy in my feet and hands. And after 3 years, my oncologist told me, this is probably the best it'll ever be. He said, you need to make sure that you look down at your feet when you hike, because you could break an ankle and not even know it. And I thought, okay, again, these are just the residual effects of cancer. I'm just happy to be alive. Okay. We went to a conference in Long Beach, California, and a new product, a new activator had just come out, NAD. And I had no idea what it was going to do. I just knew that by taking it, it would amplify the other two that I was doing, and just, I'm never not going to take these activators, just so you know. And so I took the product, and I got home I think it was 4 days later after I'd started, and I woke up, I walked out into the kitchen that morning, looked out the window, and I said to my husband, oh, my feet hurt so bad. And then it hit me, and I started crying. And he said, are you okay? And I said, my feet hurt so bad. And he said, Sandy, are you okay? And I said, hear me, I can feel my feet. And I was crying tears of joy. It hurt, but I wasn't crying because it hurt. I was crying tears of joy because I could feel my feet. They hurt really, really bad. For about 3 days, they hurt really bad. But I have feeling in my feet now. I do not know. I have no idea if that's what caused, or if activation is what helped me. But guys, I can feel my hands. I can feel my feet. And I thought, wow, my body is really, really reacting in such a good way by being activated. It is healing itself. And so just things going my way. I was so excited. So fast forward through all of this, everything that's gone on, you guys, just over time, I thought, how much better could I feel? Because I've always taken good care of myself. On my inflammation and all of that has clearly subsided. Again, I don't know if it's just coincidence or not, but if you look at pictures of me from 2019, prior to 2019 to now, I am 60 years old. I look younger, I feel younger, and I'm feeling amazing. I had no idea that I could feel this good. Let's go through 2020 when I was able to, we all were hit with a crazy thing. At that time, I was taking care of my mom, and I was able to move into an apartment with her and be with her for what ended up being the last 6 months of her life. Now, she did not die of the vid, but I think that what happened in 2020 was just enough for her. And she just looked at me and she goes, I'm just tired and I'm dying. And I actually was able to hold her in my arms as she passed on, and it was the most beautiful blessing. So to be able to have that time to spend with her, because the choice I made to share these wonderful products, that was invaluable. To be able to just take the time to be with her and not have to ask for time off, not have to ask for a boss. And it was just the most precious thing ever. And after that, I just continued to do what I was doing, just continued to feel better and better and better, and share these products with so many people. That might even be you if you're listening to me. And then in 2022, I decided to have a knee surgery because I've got had a meniscus tear in my knee and some other stuff that happened once they went in to look at that. And I went to the Stedman Clinic in Vail, Colorado, where they work on world-class athletes. And I discovered that my knee was a lot worse than actually what we thought. And so the damage had been a lot worse. So they went in, they did the surgery, and I actually walked out of that clinic without crutches. And my doctor was like, I've never had anybody walk out of here without crutches. And it was that afternoon and the next day that I just continued to walk like 3 miles. And maybe that was a little bit overkill, but I felt amazing. My recovery was amazing. And 2 weeks after I had that surgery, our company came out with an activated collagen. Now, I will tell you that I thought the timing couldn't have been more impeccable, right? When I first heard about collagen, I thought, oh man, we're going to do the hair, skin, and nails things. Clearly that's working. But it wasn't because of that I love the collagen. It was what was happening on the inside, just like all of the other activators. And so I didn't even have to go back to my follow-up appointment because I had full range of motion in 3 weeks after my knee surgery. And so it was just incredible. And beyond that, just my recovery, my doctor was blown away. And so now with LifeVantage, it's just, we've got an activated skincare now. And all of the products, the innovation behind them has just been incredible. And I know that whatever LifeVantage comes up with, it's going to be superior. These products all work synergistically to give us the best life experience possible. And now we have a weight management product coming in October of 2024 that is going to activate our own bodies to help us manage our weight. I'm excited about it. I can't say a whole lot about it now. If you're watching this later, I'll probably have more information by then. But everything that is happening with LifeVantage makes me so happy that I was able to finally, on the 7th try, when my friend talked to me, and I was going to absolutely say, no, I'm never going to be your friend again if you talk to me about it anymore. I am so glad that my yes was, I'm going to be open to listening now because of what these products are. And so if you're, considering this, for me, it started with products. It was all about it. I knew that I would never not use these products. And my whole family is activated. All of my kids are activated. My grandchildren are activated. It's something that you really need to consider for healthy longevity. But also, I'm going to share this, and it's given me an opportunity to just have the freedom that I've always wanted to keep. And so if you are considering, LifeVantage, you need to. It's really something that is, there's a lot of things out there, let me just say this, but there's only one activation company, and that's LifeVantage. And I am so happy to be part of it.